2024 has been a pretty stacked year for both anime and video games. You have Nokatan taking over social media, Alia being the best romance anime in the past 5 years, fight me, and Oshinoko Season 2, which has been pretty solid since, you know, they haven't gone to that part yet. You also got games like Helldivers 2, Persona 3 Reload, and SMT5 Vengeance, Black Myth Wukong, and Tekken 8 coming out this year. Overall, it's kind of like the revival of nerd culture, since anime and video games went pretty nocturnal for a while. But one of the most underrated years for games is 2020. The Last of Us Part 2, Doom Eternal, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Final Fantasy VII Remake, New Horizons, Fall Guys, Valorant, Like a Dragon, Cyberpunk, even Genshin Impact came out in 2020. It was just a time to be alive for video games. As for anime, the only real notable one here is Rent-A-Girlfriend. But with this stacked lineup of video games, it begs the question, what was the best game of 2020? Maybe it's one of these story-focused games, or an online game that gave you good memories with friends. Maybe it's Game of the Year, The Last of Us Part 2. That game was pretty nice. But no, none of these AAA games that I mentioned are the best game of 2020. The answer is Dohna Let's Do Bad Things Together.
Go ahead, call me.
So what is Dohna? It's a game created by the Japanese company Alicesoft that released in 2020. The company is well known for making Eroges, as seen in their Evanickel duology and their long-running Rant series. As far as I know, the company is heavily inactive now, and their latest release is Evanickel 2, I think. It's either that or the translation of Rant 9. It's also important to note that Alicesoft has quite the reputation for dark themes. But anyways, Dohna is a game where you and your buddies participate in illegal activities in order to take down a massive corpo that has put the city under a dictatorship. I swear this isn't a Cyberpunk reference. This game has a larger focus on gameplay, music, art, and basically everything that isn't hentai. Don't worry though, there's still lots of it. As far as I know, you can't get this game in my region of hell, so I had to get this game through extremely unorthodox means. I do not condone these activities, but I do if you're Filipino. Wait, what did she pull? Oh my god, Philippines! The game was also published by Shiravune, who is known for publishing visual novel games such as Platonically Mauled by a Magic Cougar. I'm not even gonna question why this game has adventure as a tag. But enough of my bullshit, it's time to talk about the greatest game of our lifetime. The game is set in the fictional Japanese city of Asogi City. It's hard to live in North Korean society, as a corporation, appropriately named Asogi Corporation, has the city under a dictatorship. You play as a revolutionary named Kuma, a member of the anti-Asogi group Nayuta. He may look emo and is extremely edgy for a main character, but he still gets more pussy than you ever will in your entire life. Next up, Porno. Yes, that's her name. I'm not going to delve deep into her character because this will end up sounding like The Heart Part 6, but this is basically Alicesoft's self-insert character for some of the most out-of-pocket dialogue in the game. You also got minor side characters like Zappa, the leader of Nayuta, Toritaro, the Yosuke Hanamura equivalent in this game, and Kira, the resident third best girl. You also got more characters that appear later on, including the best girl in this game, a samurai tsundere. This is the greatest game ever made. So here's a general rundown of how the game works. You have a day-to-day system, which does in fact affect gameplay. Finishing the game within a select amount of days gives achievements, and some CGs are only available if you purposefully take your sweet-ass time playing the game. Before you end the day, you can choose to do one of two things, the hustle phase and the hunt phase. The hunt phase is combat. Here you crawl through dungeons and do the usual things like killing police officers, shooting dogs, dodging Lubu, and kidnapping women. Wait, really? Well, yes, because these women will be used in the hustle phase. Now is the portion of the video where we go into the morally questionable parts of this game. Again, Dohna has extremely dark themes, so if you want to skip this part, go ahead. The hustle phase is the main focus of the game, as well as where you make a majority of your money. You run a brothel in order to fund your revolutionary ideals, and this money can be used to upgrade your women in order to make more money, buy gifts for your fellow communists, and buy weapon upgrades, which in turn can be used in the hunt phase. As for the day-to-day system, you will have to complete a certain set of tasks in order to progress the story. These may include clearing a specific dungeon, getting a specific amount of yen in one hustle phase, or saving one of your characters. Not doing so in time will cause you to get very bad CGs. Unless it's the Joker one, because this one doesn't lead to any bad endings. Also, Joker sucks as a character anyway, and there's no other way to get Shion CGs, so whatever. So what is it that makes this game so good? Out of the story and gameplay, which one is better? Well, that would obviously be the gameplay. The turn-based combat in this game is basic yet really addicting. It can get really difficult at times as well, especially if you don't have characters that can cover all ranges. Boss fights in this game can also be a really big pain in the neck, since a lot of them only happen when you're already clean out of MP and HP, causing you to die. And the hustle phase, despite its very questionable background, is a really unique way of setting the tone for the story. Of course, since you're being a revolutionary, you aren't doing anything that would benefit the city. As such, you run a morally wrong business in order to take down a larger evil. This theme is explored with one of the special girls that you can kidnap, where Kuma shows his sympathy to the girls, but still continues to run this business for the greater good. It's a really different thing from most Eroges. Most of the time, it's just you walking around places, fucking every girl you can find, and not having much happen. In Dohna, the story goes deeper into the corruption of Asogi City, and if you're a really weak-hearted person, you probably won't like the things that happen in this game. Does this justify the game's inclusion of prostitution? No, not at all. It's still a sensitive topic, which is the main reason for controversy with this game, but you can't expect games to just go completely blind to these types of things. And of course, it would only be bad if it was actively being encouraged by the developers. And as far as I know, they don't condone human trafficking. Don't quote me on that though. It's also a really big taboo in general for hentai games to even exist, so adding another taboo in prostitution makes this game come off even worse. That doesn't affect the quality of the product though. Dohna is a game that you can tell the team had fun with making. There weren't really any moments at all where it felt like I was dragging myself to finish the game. It's probably the most entertaining Eroge that you can find, and it would probably be a good idea for other hentai games to start trying what Dohna did. By far, Alisoft is one of the best Eroge developers that we've seen, mainly because they prioritize the gameplay of their games. Sure, visual novels are cool and all, but you can't expect me to be entertained by it. I can't even read. So if Dohna is a top-range Eroge, why aren't many people talking about it? Again, Denzel Curry's third album. I highly doubt that Eroges in the future will put in as much effort as Alisoft did with this game, especially since pornographic material is widely unpopular these days. I mean, you saw what happened when sex bots on Twitter became a thing. Now everyone just doesn't feel like doing it. Except 13 and 14-year-olds, since those guys just found out about said bots.
Nigga, listen to it. Then go to sleep, wake up, listen to it again, nigga. It's a classic.
So overall, would I recommend this game? That depends. If you're just the average gooner who just likes vanilla games, I wouldn't recommend this game at all. Gameplay, art, and all that will definitely be attractive, but it doesn't matter if you can't take in the themes of this game. As well, if you're just here to get your rocks off, you might as well leave. There's more gameplay than there are mating presses. As for fuckheads that are broken in the head like me, go on and play the game. The first time experience of playing this game was great despite all the suggestive stuff. That doesn't really negate all of the good things that there are in this game though. There's a reason why so many visual novel fans praise this game. It's simply just really good. If you ever find a way to get this game that isn't illegal, I heavily recommend picking it up. The game is probably the best you'll ever get from the Eroge genre. In a landscape of games where you aren't really rewarded for being creative, Alisoft still decided to make an innovative product, and it ended up giving us possibly the best Eroge in history. I'm glazing the fuck out of this game, but I'm serious, it's actually this good. Update, this is me after writing the script. The game cost nearly 2,000 pesos on Kagura Games. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, consider leaving a like and subscribing. And until next time.